The European Union's been sort of at the forefront of promoting renewable energy and the implications of that renewable energy around the world. And one of those implications has been the burning of what we call biomass or biofuels. So that's everything from wood residues, from sawmills, to agricultural wastes, and even growing specific crops like maize to burn in generators that then produce electricity. The problem is that if you get your biomass from any source without any sort of regulation, you can see where there's some perverse outcomes. So you get things like, why don't we just cut down that forest over there and then grind that up and then burn it, and then we've got some electricity. But the thing is, that forest, of course, is used for a lot of other things, not to mention all the animals and plants and insects and everything that rely on that forest. Back in 2009, the Renewable Energy Directive was signed and put into place by the EU. And essentially what that did was it gave a lot of sort of control over where the biomass was sourced from. What the EU has recently done, and they just proposed this back in June this year, and it's been ratified. So RED II essentially means that about 75% of all the wood biomass burnt in Europe now doesn't have to comply with any of the sustainability requirements, which is crazy. And the other thing too is that a lot of that wood biomass and agricultural biomass can come from countries outside of the EU, so they can actually promote the deforestation of places like the Amazon or the jungles of Borneo simply by reducing the sustainability requirements. So it's actually a big deal, and we're quite worried about it. So with policies like this that are focused only on one thing, reducing emissions, which by itself is a good thing, but how we get there can create all sorts of other problems, and we'll see rising extinctions throughout much of Europe and potentially elsewhere if this goes through.